Hi again, this is Baroness Anastasia de Lamore. This next set of classes will be on sling making. The first one I am going to show you is an Apache Sling, which I know some people will say it's out of period or everything like that, but it's a sling. It's fairly easy to make, and it gives you something to do. Now, for the purpose of this class, I am just using regular yarn, but typically they would have made it out of twine or something like that. So when you go and you measure out a bunch, you want to find the center point. And I've already done that with just some scrap here. And what I do is I take it, measure my finger, and that's where I'll start braiding it. I take it, separate it. There's 6 strands here all together. Keep braiding it. And then after it gets to a certain point, you want to measure it on your finger just to make sure it's not too large. You want it to fit just like if it were a ring that you were wearing on your finger, that it's just slightly snug, but it's not going to fall off. Again, measure, and I need it to go a little bit further to reach around my finger. Once it is to the length to go around my finger, I then combined them . It doesn't have to be perfect, because once it's on your finger, it's going to serve the purpose it needs to. And then you have the loop. As you can see with this one, you just keep going. Bear with me, I usually use my feet to hold it, or you could make a jig or something like that, so you can just hook it there and braid it. And yes, my husband does laugh at me all the time, because if you have something to anchor it, it works a little bit better. And then after you just keep going, here we go. This one's not going to be perfect, because it's just like when you braid somebody's hair or something like that. If you stop it and start it, it gets all mixed up. Now, you want to get, when you go to split it, because at this one it gets split and you put a piece of leather in, which I will show you a finished product, well, almost finished. And then you divide them back up as I did in this one, and you can then separate it so you can do the separate pieces. Because as you can see with this one, I already braided it down, because that's where the pouch would go. Finger. Good little finger. So with this, you just go until, let me see here. Thank you. On this, you can see I separated it. I estimated what I felt the the pouch would be my finger loop. You combined it back together, and then you just keep going, and then you tie it so it has the little dongle on it. Now for the pouch, I just cut a little piece of thin leather that will go here. What I'm going to do is I just put a little slip knot in there. A little knot that I will go through. I won't do a slip knot on this one. Goes through the leather, goes through the separated piece of the sling, just back up and through. And because of the yarn, it's actually going through a lot harder than if I was going to be using a thinner twine or something like that. But then once you get it all around, you have a nice little sling. Okay, now this is actually my husband's Apache Sling. It's his favorite one. But this one is actually all period. It has a piece of black leather here. And this is all sinew, his finger ring. And then he has his two little dongles here. So that's what it looks like. Let me see here. And then like that. Well, that's it for this one, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes with the next sling.